Okay, well, first off, let's wish Tara a happy 50th birthday. Hi, Tara. 50. It's hard to believe. I want to thank all of you for entering this little contest that we're doing, this little game to ask questions about Tara. Let's see if I can get her better in the picture here. There we go. So she's eating right now, and which is what she loves to do the most. So I'm going to read through these questions and try to answer them as best I can. Let me put my reading glasses on. Tara's turning 50 and I'm turning something more than that. All right, so let's look at the first one. This is a big one. Did Tara ever have a baby? And in fact, she did. When Tara was around 20, between 19 and 20, she was pregnant. She went full term, and the baby was stillborn. We were at the Nashville Zoo at the time. She had been bred at Lion Country Safari. I was there the whole time, of course. And at that time in history, we believed that it would be good for Tara to have a baby. She would have something of her own, someone to nurture. So that was the belief system, that it was a good thing for her. The experience was of the delivery was less than positive. In fact, it was really horrible. The baby was stuck in the birth canal. The attending veterinarian really had no experience and didn't know what to do. So we had to consult. And I ended up consulting with the veterinarians at the London Zoo, and they were the most helpful. We wanted to know if she was to be induced, should we induce her? And he said, is she squirting milk? And I said, yes. He said, it's time. Give her oxytocin. Don't give it to her, full bore in the vein. Give it to her in the muscle and only give her a little bit because it's going to hit her hard fast. And it did. The baby was stillborn. Tara was not emotional about it. But what she did do was, after we struggled with the baby for, I don't seem like forever because I couldn't accept the baby was dead. Tara stood there the whole time, just calmly, and then she walked over to the baby. She put her trunk on the baby's trunk and she sucked in. And then she put her trunk on the baby's mouth and sucked in. And then she turned around very slowly and she put the pad of her back foot onto the baby's chest, just gently rested it on the baby's chest. And just for a very, seconds. And then she calmly walked away and walked out of the barn, and that was it. So obviously, afterwards, I realized that she was feeling for a heartbeat, and there wasn't one. So she left. So upon necropsy, it was determined that the baby had arthrogryposis, which was a disease that was contracted from a mosquito bite. And as things always seem to be so complicated, the mosquito had to bite Tara in her first trimester. It had to be a mosquito that was infected with this disease that it would have gotten from a sheep. And it had to be the first time that Tara was exposed to this disease from a mosquito. So all those things had to come into play for the baby to develop arthrogryposis and be born stillbirth. It was an interesting and very frightening experience for me. Tara didn't seem to be too upset about it, but that's because elephants are so wise. And it really changed my opinion about this industry. I say the industry, the captive elephant care industry, on what we do and why we do it, and what are the expertise that are linked to doing that. So my decision was a resounding, I will never breed her again. That's the answer to that one. Okay, I just threw my papers on the ground. Oh, let's see. Sorry about that. So this one is Tara's big, beautiful eyes. So is this, are her eyes, big eyes, normal? Is it because other elephant species don't have them? Truly, she's Burmese. So if you saw other elephants from Burma, you would see that their eyes they look bulging. They look like they're bulging out. They're not really any larger than another elephant. It's just that because they protrude out from their face, they look larger, and they're, of course, so much expression. And you look at Tara's eyes, if we can get close and take a look at those eyes. See those beautiful eyes. Wait, well, come here, babe. I can't see your eyeball. Where are we? There we are. See how light her eye is? But you look at Bo, and Bo's eyes are dark, dark brown. So it's hard to see with Bo. It's hard to see what message he's giving with his eye because it's really so dark. All right, let's see. Another question. Where was Tara rescued from? Well, she actually was rescued twice. So the first time I rescued her, she was living at a tire store. It wasn't so much a rescue because at that time in history, we didn't know that was a bad thing for elephants. But I did take over her care, and within 2 years, had purchased her so that I could be responsible for her care. And that's what I was looking for, to be the person who could make the final decisions about her. And of course, the second time is when she came to me 2 years ago, where she had been separated and in a situation that was not benefiting her. And so she needed to move, and she did, and she's here, and we're very happy about that. Let's see. So Courtney asks about the vision. So because Tara's eyes are so big, can she see better? And honestly, I don't know the answer to that, but I've done some research, and not necessarily. Because again, her eyes really aren't any bigger than another elephant's eyes. They just look bigger. Beth asks if Tara has a favorite stall in the barn, and as a matter of fact, she does. She likes the one end stall where that door is always open because she likes the choice to come and go whenever she wants. Now, the other two can come and go as well, but Tara likes to have that open door at her stall. And of course, she only comes in maybe a half a dozen nights out of the whole year, but it's nice to have that option for her and for them. This person asked Tara directly, Tara, what is it about Bella that you love so much? Does Carol know? Tara loved Bella so much because Bella loved Tara. It's not unique for Tara to like dogs. Tara loves dogs. But it was amazingly unique and never heard of before, a dog that liked Tara, but to the degree that this dog would never leave Tara. So Tara would be out in the habitat days and weeks and months at a time. Caregivers would go out and feed her out in the habitat, and they'd have to take dog food out because Bella would not leave Tara. And you could see the two of them together were just so happy together. It overjoyed Tara that the dog wanted to stay with her all the time. She really loved that. So that's why Tara loved Bella so much, and Bella loved Tara so much. Now, Pat asked, after I purchased Tara as a baby, how many locations did we live in before the sanctuary? Well, we actually right away bought a little piece of land and what we called a granny flat in California, in Los Padres National Park, in Ojai, California. And that was our home base. That's where we lived until we moved to Tennessee. Now, we stayed in different cities at summer times when we were working in different places like the Kansas City Zoo, or in Ontario, or if we were traveling, like we traveled with some shows. And so we would travel and be in different places, but we actually would always come back home for many, many months out of the year. In fact, we were called 40-milers, and that's a term that they use in circus for the performers that are not really circusy people and they don't want to be on the road. We didn't necessarily want to be on the road. We had fun when we were, but we always liked to come home. Let's see, what about this one? This one is, what sets Tara apart from other elephants? What is her uniqueness? Well, I think the thing that sets Tara apart, not from all elephants, but from, many, is how she grew up. So she wasn't an animal to make money, okay? That's not what her purpose was. Hello, how are you? Thank you very much. Yeah, good girl. Um, she was family, and we did perform, but she was family, and I think what sets her apart from others is that she knew from day one. And look at you, huh? What are you doing? She knew from day one how loved she was. She knew she wasn't being used. I lived with her 24/7. She knew me really well. I knew her. I know her really well. So I think that's what sets her apart is her life, how she was raised, and um, all of that. Hello. I know I just ate a banana. You like that smell, don't you? Silly girl. Okay, going back to another question here. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. Did Tara have an affinity and exposure to dogs when she was very young? Oh, yes, she did. From the time she was a bitty baby. As soon as I started taking care of her, I would take my dog over to be with her. So, she's very precocious and, very tactile. As you can see, she's very tactile. She's touching all over me right now. So having a dog around was really good for her. Company, gave her somebody that she could touch and play with. And of course, the dogs were always really playful with her. So yeah, dogs have always been a thing for Tara. She loves them. Very few get attached to her the way that Bella did. Let's see what other ones we have here. How much does Tara weigh? Well, you guys all know she weighs about 8,000 pounds. And how did she acquire an interest for using tools? Well, I don't know. She'll have to tell you. But she's always been around when things were going on. If we were building something or I'm putting something together, I'm using a hammer or using a shovel. I mean, she's seen me a trillion times using a shovel and a broom. And, elephants are really playful and they're curious. And so, picking up a shovel and playing with it it's not that she knows that she's not trying to dig a hole necessarily, but she may be mimicking. She just may be playing with it. The hammer makes a nice little sound when you pound on it. So I think it's just playing. It's just a play behavior. Does Tara like children? She always has. Adults are more difficult with full-grown elephants because adults tend to have an energy of control, even if they don't know it. Children don't. And usually elephants like children. Is there anything that Tara is afraid of? I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is, but I don't know what it is because she's very self-confident. Okay. When I'm not with her, I don't know. I think she derives a sense of safety from those that she trusts, elephants, dogs, and people. So when I'm not there, I don't know what went on when I wasn't there. Okay, let's see what else. There's lots and lots of questions here, and they're all really good. Marcia asks, what does Tara do that makes you laugh with joy or cry with joy? Well, everything that she does. And I'll tell you, that girl is so stubborn. She's more stubborn than me. She is one stubborn girl. So sometimes she decides she doesn't want to take her supplement. Why? I don't know. She likes it every day, twice a day. And then just one day she decides she's not going to take it. I go to put it towards her mouth and she clamps her mouth shut. And that makes me laugh. It's like, what? You don't like the candy? I mean, really? And then, of course, then she'll open her mouth and take it. But she just makes me laugh. I like her independence. I like that she's secure and she feels safe. I like that she has a playfulness. I like that she's stubborn sometimes. Okay. So, I don't know if I already read this. If someone asks what sets Tara apart from other elephants, what is her uniqueness? And really, it's not that something sets her apart. It's that we see her. See, she looks right at me. She looks right at the camera. So there's a connection that she makes with you. And some elephants are not able to do that. Some elephants aren't trusting enough to do that. What are you doing? See how she's looking right in the camera? I mean, she knows what's going on. And, of course, she's quite curious. So it's not that she's not amazing. She is. But I think all elephants have the potential to be incredibly amazing. But the two things that we know about her, of course, is that her beautiful eyes and her vocalization. I have never met an elephant that is as vocal as Tarra. And that started, she didn't learn it from dogs. She knew it. That was her language. That was her language. And she chatters. And then if I encourage her to even do it more, well, then she plays with it. She thinks it's very funny, and then she chatters a lot. So that maybe, sets her a little bit apart. I know I'm not getting to all of these, and I apologize that I'm not, but we have like pages and pages of this. So let's see this one. This one says, is there something special I say to only Tarra? And maybe, I mean, I have conversations with her. I have conversations with all of them, but with her, we have a lot of history. So it's almost like, it's not that I know what she's thinking, but she lets me know what's going on. And then we, of course, talk about that. That is a sort of a repeat question. And here's another page. And this one says, oh, this is a good one. Stephanie asks, what experience do you have where Tarra showed you how intelligent she can be? Well, endless, numerous, amazing. But here's this one. Tarra was 6 years old. We lived on a little piece of property that bordered a very remote area of the Ventura River, so there were never any people there. We were surrounded by the Los Padres National Forest. Across the little mountain road was a reservoir, Matilaha Lake, and we used to go over there all the time. Nobody around, okay? People couldn't swim in Matilaha Lake. So it was just our little paradise. So we're over there after a big storm, and a lot of driftwood and silt was around the edge of this reservoir. And Tarra loved to swim, so I said, go in. As she went in, she was sinking a little bit, but no big deal. She goes in. She swims, and then when she goes to get out, she can't get out, because as she takes a step, she sinks all the way up to her chest. With every step she takes, she's sinking up to her chest and her belly. And now she's getting very tired because this is exhausting and she can't get out. So I go through all the stuff I know. Oh, come on out, and don't be silly, get out. And then I beg her, please come out. And then I start to panic because she lays down in the water to rest. So she lays on her side, she's floating. And as she's floating, the current of the water is taking her towards a dam. And because it just rained, the water's going over the dam. And I panicked because I thought, oh my God, she's going to float right over the dam. So I said, what do I do? What can I do? I got to get a tow truck. But we didn't have cell phones at that time. I thought it's a 2-mile run for me to get back to my house, to get to a phone, to get a tow truck, and I can't leave her. So I turned to her and I started crying and I said, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do. Now remember, she is 6 years old. She hasn't lived with elephants since she was like 2 months old. She got up to her chest in this mud. Her front legs totally covered. And she pulled one leg out, and with a noise, she pulled that leg out and she started pulling driftwood with her trunk into that hole. And then she put her foot in there and packed it down, and then put more in and packed it down. And then stepped, which raised her up. And then she pulled the other leg out. And then she started pulling driftwood and putting it in that hole. And then I see, oh my God, there's no more driftwood. Oh, I got to help. So I'm running around getting driftwood, putting it in front of her. And she proceeded to fill up these holes everywhere she stepped, filled it up with driftwood until she could work her way out at 6 years old. How did she know that? Cell memory? Highly intelligent? Creator of tools and tool use? And I'll tell you, she was really upset with me afterwards. She just walked right past me, gave me a dirty look, and we headed home. But that's just one of the many examples that I was lucky enough to experience on how incredibly intelligent elephants are. Let me see if there are any others that are going to top that. I don't think so. So I want to thank everybody for your questions that you posted, giving me a chance to stand out here and talk about this lovely lady with her eating her dinner. And let's all wish her, Tarra, Happy 50th birthday, my dear. Sweet girl. Yes, you. Sweet girl. Bye.